What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the weekly FBA Office Hours. I am your host, Chris Grant. You may have seen me around FBA Today and Tactical Arbitrage and on the YouTubes and other places across the interwebs. Welcome to the show this week. Yes, I just saw someone hit the like button. If you are on YouTube, if you are in the FBA Today group or in the Tactical Arbitrage group, please do me a huge solid and smash the like button for the respective algorithms. It helps get this video out to more people and hopefully help a few folks at home. So I want to start the show off with a little good news, bad news. Oh, and of course, if you're here, say hey. If you're new to the show, what we do in the weekly FBA office hours is we talk a little bit about the news of the day for Amazon and e-commerce. We chit chat a little bit about questions. And if I come up with any topics, we'll discuss those a little bit. Tonight's topic, I've seen a lot of questions in FBA Today, especially. We've got lots of new folks coming in. And so one of the things is, well, I want to do wholesale by buying on Alibaba, and that's not really wholesale. So I want to talk about the different sourcing methods that there are, the different business models, and kind of a little dive into what each one is. That way, those who are new can watch this and hopefully know a little bit better what's going on and what's out there when they start talking about the kind of business they want to have. Derek, what's going on? I believe that is V Stutes. That's Valerie, I believe. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. What's going on? Money for Mars, what's up? Appreciate everybody being here. So like I said, wanted to start with a little bit of good news, bad news. Bad news is it's still 2020, and we kind of know that 2020 has sucked so far this year. However, it is the halfway point of 2020. We are officially at halftime. Tomorrow will be the second half of 2020, and hopefully it's not all downhill from here. Hopefully the second half of the year turns out to be a little bit better. Gina, what's up? ARDZ, what's going on? I see everybody is on the YouTubes watching. That's great. Hopefully we get some folks from the Facebooks over here. Daniel, what's going on? I'm gonna butcher it. Is it Julissa? My dream FBA. What's going on? Can I talk a little bit about accounting? We can talk a little bit about accounting. I am not an accountant. It would help if you have some specific questions. And I can touch on that, but I'm always going to preface it by I am not an accountant or a CPA or a tax professional, and you will want to consult someone like that to help you with accounting properly. But I can give you my very unprofessional opinion on any accounting questions that you have. Lem, is this working? Yes, it is working now. At least for you, it is. Like I said, so it is the second half of 2020. Hopefully things get to be a little bit better. And I apologize if you guys are hearing any fireworks here in Florida. Thursday's a good day to set off fireworks, and so my neighbors are blowing out their stash apparently from last year to make way for this year's fireworks show, which will happen on Saturday night here in our neighborhood. Everybody kind of sets off their own. So let's see. Ashley, what's going on? Lem, always good to see you. Vikram, good to see you. Dan, what's going on? All right. So I will not forget to get to your questions, guys, but I want to go over a little bit of news. There are a couple of things. Let's start off with something I thought was a little funny. I shared it, and of course, everybody said, "Oh, this guy is stupid," and so on and so forth, and he's just coming through clear. Just don't hear anything. Hope I haven't heard anybody else saying they can't hear me. So hopefully that's just hopefully just on your end. Maybe a little refresh should make that work okay. But the guy in Detroit who decided to quit his Amazon delivery job, I found it kind of an epic, funny way to quit, but he pulled his delivery vehicle over into a gas station, left the keys in the ignition. I'll talk about the fireworks. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So the fireworks, I use some software called Crisp.ai. So I've got a fairly nice mic setup here with a shock mount and all that stuff. But I also use some software to make sure that things like that hopefully don't come through. And it's just this voice made for radio. I've also got a face for radio, but you're not supposed to be able to hear like me snapping or anything like that in the background. And I've got kids and dogs, and so hopefully it blocks all that stuff out through the program I use. As well as the fireworks, but I figure one or two will get in. But anyway, back to this guy. He leaves the vehicle in a parking lot at a gas station, leaves the door unlocked, the keys in the ignition, and then tweets its location and with a few expletives, of course, and says he quit his job. Now, I'm sure he was irritated and frustrated with his job. I think it's kind of funny. It's definitely took some intestinal fortitude to quit your job that way, and it's definitely one for the history books, I think. But of course, he's a young guy, 22, and we've all made those kind of mistakes at jobs and in life at 22. So something he'll look at back later and hopefully laugh about, and also realize it was probably a little bit of a mistake. The other thing that I read, and this is probably something that many of us would like to do on occasion, is some protesters set up a guillotine in front of Jeff Bezos's Washington, D.C. home. He lives in a fairly Tony neighborhood, really upscale, of course, like you would expect the richest man in the world to live in. Of course, there are other people there as well, so it may not have been directly pointed at Jeff himself. It may have been just rich people in general, but the sign read, "Support our poor communities, not our wealthy men." And I just thought it was, while I understand the message, and I'm not going to get political or anything like that, I thought it was a little bit of chuckly, because I'm sure that every now and again we wouldn't mind at least giving Bezos a black eye. I'm sure none of us would actually want to put him in a guillotine. And then the other news about Jeff this week is he just set a brand new record of his own. He shattered his last record of being the richest man in the world, and he is now worth nearly $172 billion. His wife, or it was ex-wife now, Mackenzie, she's now worth $57 billion, and her wealth has skyrocketed 54% year to date, which is an increase of nearly $20 billion, making her the 12th richest person in the world. So had Jeff not gotten divorced, he'd actually be worth over $200 billion, it looks like, which I'm sure that's a little irritating at that stage in the game. He's probably a touch frustrated that he's not hit that 200 billion mark yet, but he's got plenty of coin to be able to wipe away his tears with. And let's see, there are a bunch of other things. Let's see. A couple of new states. This actually, I saw Stephen Smotherman share this, so I want to make sure he gets credit for finding it before I did. But a couple of new states became members of the marketplace facilitator that Amazon takes care of. And let me just Control F here. All right, so July the 1st, yesterday, Louisiana and Mississippi and Puerto Rico, all three of those states and U.S. protectorates, if you will, they all will have sales tax collected and delivered to them by Amazon. So if you happen to be in one of those states, or you have Nexus in one of those states, et cetera, and so on, those should be a couple of more places that you don't have to worry about anymore, or at least you can file, that Amazon took care of it, or whatever you might have to do for your particular state. It varies. There are still just a couple of states, Florida, of course, being one of them, and Tennessee. Although, if I understand correctly, Tennessee is going to be coming on board October the 1st of 2020 in the marketplace facilitator. So that will be good. And then we'll only have just 3 states, I believe, that will actually need to have tax collected by Amazon, and it should be off sellers' plates in full, which is good news in my opinion. Let's see what else we got here. Let me make sure. Amazon Prime Day. So we know that it was delayed earlier in the year, and the delay we were thinking was going to be September, but now it looks like it may be delayed into October, possibly the week of October the 5th. And that's according to an email that was obtained by CNBC. Of course, this is due to coronavirus related constraints, et cetera, and so on. We know that their logistics have been stretched. I know that my own shipments inbound are being very, very slow. I'm looking at, I think we're coming up on 2.5 weeks now for one of my shipments to have been actually received. And outbound shipments are also taking a little bit longer. So they're going to postpone it, looks like, until at least early October. So it was going to be in September. So hopefully they don't have to push that again. Now, here's one of the things that I think, though. I don't necessarily find this to be bad news for Amazon sellers. We all know that we get that Prime Day bump. And right now it's too late for anybody to really make more money from the July 4th holiday. Of course, there are still summer items that are going to be selling very, very well. But whether or not kids are back in school, back to school season is going to be coming soon. So there is going to be an uptick in things to sell, whether it's going to be homeschool items or just regular school items if kids get back into regular schooling. And then right after that, we're going to be going into Prime Day, hopefully, and then we're going to be right into Q4. So not only are we seeing an increase in sales just because people are buying more and more online, but we've also got a setup of a nice series of holidays or selling times, if you will, with back to school or homeschool, whatever it might be, and then Prime Day, and then we go right into Q4. And as long as people are still making money, they are going to be spending money. So that should be some good news, I think. A lot of the other little good news is Amazon is giving its frontline workers $500 as a bonus for full-time workers, $250 for part-time workers. Now, I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but over the, they've got 100,000 people working on the front lines. This is going to include Whole Foods workers. It's going to include some flex drivers, people who work in warehouses, things like that. Now, this does come on the back of Amazon stopping the increased pay that they were paying due to the pandemic. And they're just giving this as a thank you. They're not the only company doing this. Lowe's is also doing something like this, and I'm sure we're going to find a bunch of other companies doing it, but hopefully this is good for morale for the folks who are shipping out our orders. We can agree with it or not. It doesn't really matter. It's what they're doing. And so hopefully it is helpful to those who get it. And then a couple other things. I'm not going to go over that one. There's an interesting article out there by Marketplace Pulse, and it talks about how much volume is done by sellers based on when they started selling on Amazon. So now the thing is, it's virtually impossible to actually know what kind of volume sellers actually do on Amazon. So what they have to do is they actually have to use the volume of feedback that sellers get, okay? So one of the takeaways from this article, and I'll be sharing this tomorrow in 5 Things Friday, this entire article, but the real takeaway I saw that was interesting is on Amazon in the US, 5.5% of June's volume came from sellers that joined in 2020. 16% came from sellers that joined in 2019. 19% of volume came from sellers that joined in 2018. 20% came from sellers who joined in 2017. 16% from sellers in 2016, and 20% from sellers that joined in 2015 or earlier. And those numbers are just about the same across most marketplaces. The only real outlier, based on the bar graph that they have, is Australia, where Australia, the largest by far, are sellers who started in 2018. Of course, that's a newer marketplace, so numbers are going to be a little bit skewed there. But I found that really, really interesting. It was, yeah, it's not super accurate because they can't actually get volume numbers, but it is interesting nonetheless. And that's going to be in tomorrow's 5 Things Fridays if you want to read the whole thing. So that's the news for the evening. Let me take a look here. Nice. Lem is tactical arbitraging lows at the moment. That is a great place. Tycoon, what's going on? Let's see. Let's see what else here. I'm going to answer a couple of questions, and then we are going to chat about the different types of sourcing here. Is QuickBooks useful? Yes, QuickBooks is useful. QuickBooks is my software of choice when it comes to accounting purposes. Part of it is because I have used QuickBooks since I was 18 years old, and so I am just used to it. But I also just think that it's probably one of the better softwares out there. If you want to be more hands-off, there are some companies like Bench that will do a lot more hands-off. And what I really should do is I should hire like a virtual assistant bookkeeper to do things for me. But I still do the bookkeeping on my own. Lori, what's going on? Let's see here. You have GoDaddy bookkeeping, but what about inventory management? So there are 2 softwares that are going to be the Goliaths in the space for inventory management. One of them is going to be ScanPower. The other one's going to be Inventory Lab. Both of them are really good, and it just depends on what you like better and kind of what you need things for. So yeah, those would be the 2 kind of inventory management softwares out there. If you're talking about restocking, there, I don't know of a great restocking software. I just use the restock alerts inside of Seller Central for my replens. Let's see here. Inventory Labs plus QuickBooks. Profit First is a great book on cash flow. Profit First also has a Profit First for e-commerce sellers, which is really good. Other books for e-commerce cash management, I really can't say that there's a lot out there. Profit First is probably going to be the go-to. Let's see. How much of that is in? Yeah, most of Jeff Bezos' wealth is in his shares of Amazon. I mean, sure, he's got, he takes out a few $1 million every year, but yeah, I mean, all those people on the Forbes list, most of it anyway, is going to be tied to some sort of business. That's just the way it is. I just partnered with a pharmacy and saw pill packs. Are individual sellers able to participate What do you know about it? I don't know anything about the pill packs. I have I don't know. I'd have to look into that to be able to really give you an idea on that, but I haven't looked into it at all. Let's see here. Uh, do you feel that there are sales volumes at which employees need to be added in order to continue growing? Um, so I'm going to go with the advice that a lot of more seasoned business owners than myself have thrown out there, and it's you should probably add employees, and employees don't need to be in person; they can be virtual assistants. But employees should probably be added, especially for repetitive tasks, as quickly as is humanly possible. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it really feels like $10 an hour work, you should probably be having someone else do that. And listen, I'm not going to say that it's easy. I am someone who likes to control most everything, and so it's difficult for me to give work to other people. Okay. Um, and I mean, that's across all aspects of my life. It's not just business. But if you can afford it, you should probably let someone else do it if they can do it properly. I'm trying to think of what I read. Um, anyway, there's like I'll have to find it, but there's like a chart that kind of gives you a good idea of what should be outsourced or given to an employee and what shouldn't. But honestly, my opinion is that you should add people or services to do things for you as quickly as possible, because your job is to grow the business. You need to be working on it, whether that's building relationships with suppliers, or if your job is finding product or approving purchases or whatever that is. You kind of need to be driving revenue growth rather than going after items that are not driving revenue. Let's see. Val says, "What time is the live OA challenge?" Short stop for a shameless plug. And Robert, thank you very much. The OA challenge begins on Monday, July the 6th. We're going to be live every single day at 4 p.m. For the OA challenge. So it's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern every single day. There are 2 catch-up days in there. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. But it's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern. Of course, all the videos are going to be recorded, and they're going to be saved so that if someone misses it or anything like that, you can always go back and watch it. It'll always be there for you. But thank you for asking, Val. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Seller Mobile has some interesting tools for restocking. Yeah, I have heard of Seller Mobile. I just haven't checked them. I think someone from their team reached out to me, but I just haven't checked them out. And especially when they're under development, I'll wait until they're a little bit more built out. For inventory management, Alex, great, thank you, man. Alex, so I use Inventory. I have both Inventory Lab and Scan Power. I have Inventory Lab because my prep center requires it, and so I use them for that. But I like Scan Power because I think they're a little bit more in tune with Amazon sellers. Among sellers who are very big, they're actually, unless they're using something that is one-off, Scan Power, based on Marketplace Pulse information, Scan Power is actually one of the larger softwares for sellers, like doing over $1 million a year. And they've got, like, Paul, the guy who builds it out and everything, like, he is just a really, really smart guy. And so Scan Power is pretty awesome. Let's see here. Can you talk about pros and cons between using sales tax free prep centers versus your own prep plus sales tax state? Yeah. So one of the things that I actually recorded one of the bonuses today with Charles Leslie of Network Prep. One of the bonuses in the OA Challenge is all about prep. And it was going to be a PDF guide, but I thought a video would actually be better. Him and I have a really great rapport, and we're able to bounce back and forth off of each other really well. So we just decided to record a video. And we talked a little bit about the pros and cons today. Several of the pros is one, you no longer have to use your time. And one of the benefits of this business a lot of people have is they want to do it from home. Well, once you get big enough, you start to outgrow your house. Okay. During Q4, we do retail arbitrage mainly in Q4. We're renting U-Haul trailers, and I've got to leave half the U-Haul trailer packed while we bring everything else in the house and pack it up and ship it out, and then we have to unpack the other half of the U-Haul trailer, and it's just such a pain. But using a prep center, I don't have to have anything in the house, and I don't have to have my own time invested. I don't have to manage an employee or do the work myself. And then I started thinking about it the other week when someone asked, and they're like, well, I live in a state with 10.2% sales tax. And the thing is, my state, well, my particular area is 7.5% sales tax. Although I think the fireworks stand may have charged me 9% today. I'm going to have to double check my receipt. But anyway, if I spend like $16.75, okay, if I buy an item for resale for $16.75, I'm going to pay $18 even on it. Okay, so I'm going to pay. Actually, they ended up rounding it to 1801. So I'm going to pay $1.26 in sales tax. Now, at that point, at 1675, I'm actually being paid a penny to have Chaz and his team prep my item. Okay, because it's $1.25 per standard size unit. And so that's one of the other pros. My average buy cost is around $23.50 or something at my average buy cost per unit. So at that point, I'm actually being paid more money because not every store is going to let you use your sales tax permit or your reseller permit or whatever you want to call it, whatever your state calls it. Okay. They're like Walmart's going to let you, and you can get it at Best Buy, but I think you could do it at Walgreens maybe, but I think it's like really tough. So I've never even tried. And then there's a lot of others. There's a lot of others like Target. Target's not going to let you use a reseller permit in store, and they're definitely not going to let you use it online. And there's a ton of other places like that as well. So that's one of the big pros for me is you end up getting paid to let them prep. The other thing is like I've had people work for me. We had one guy who probably worked for me for about a year, and like I probably should have let him go like way earlier because he was stoned all the time. And like I don't care, if that's your thing, if you want to get stoned, like as long as you can do the work, I don't care. Go smoke as much pot as you want. However, I need you to be able to do the work. And he would get stoned and then he just zone out and could not get things done other than laughing at whatever he was watching while he was prepping. And so I don't want to deal with those. I don't want to deal with people, honestly. So I can let my prep center hire and fire and retrain at will. Let's see here. Gina, I'm concentrating on building my wholesale business at the moment. Are there things in the OA challenge that will be of benefit to my wholesale learning curve? I'm going to be honest, probably not. The reason I don't ever want to steer you wrong, but we're really going to be focused on OA. And if I said, we could talk about wholesale, it probably would not be enough to benefit you for what you're doing and trying to grow your wholesale business. it's not insanely different, but it's different enough that I would not want to get you in there and then have you be disappointed. My objective with the OA challenge is to really try to blow people's minds so that the next one is even bigger. So I don't want to point you down that path. Brian Williams, lead lists, yay or nay? Yes, I like lead lists, and some people will say, oh, don't get a lead list. I disagree. There's a couple of reasons. Okay, one, you get to take a look at what professionals are sourcing. Okay, and I find that to be a good thing. I get to, there were certain sites that I never really sourced a lot, and then I'd see it on a lead list, and I'm like, oh, this is a good site. I'm going to check here more often. And then the other thing, here's one of the very biggest takeaways from lead lists that I have told people to do over and over and over again, and then I know people don't do it. Lead lists need to become a database for future sourcing. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm on a lot more lead lists than probably most everybody. Okay. And I do it for several reasons. One, I suggest lead lists to other people. And if I'm going to suggest a lead list, I need to use the product that I'm suggesting. And then I only suggest the ones that I actually keep. Okay. So every lead list that I've ever suggested, I've actually used it or do use it currently. And one of the things that I do is I will go back 30 or 60 or 90 days and I will look at the leads, and a lot of them are still profitable. Or if I what you can see on the Keepa graph is you can see the number of sellers spikes, and then you see it come back down. And as that happens, at the same time, the buy box price is going back up to kind of normal. Okay. Because, market pressure equalizes eventually when inventory comes down and sales velocity stays the same, the price is going to equalize. So I will often go back and find really, really great items that are from old lead lists. So you've got a whole database at your disposal once you have these lead lists in your pocket. And if you're new, it also gives you the opportunity to just kind of grow your gut feeling. Okay. Plus, there are times when maybe you just don't have time. Like, I know that this week I have been solely focused on making sure to have everything ready for the OA challenge, but I also need to source, and I just not had the time to go in and do what I normally do. So I've been relying on my lead list to buy product to send in. Let's see here. When you know a big sales holiday is coming up, like this weekend, do you scan sites before the sale discounts are live if you know them, or do you wait until the sales are live, then do the scan? Sorry, guys, I got cotton mouth like my old employee. So I will sometimes do the scans beforehand. Like if I know a site's having 20% off the entire site for, the 4th of July weekend or whatever, I'm going to be doing as much of the scanning ahead of time as possible. That way I can go in there and snipe the deals before they get sold out or anything like that. Especially if it's going to be on a bunch of like doorbusters or items that may be sorry, lost my train of thought. Items that may, go out of stock pretty quickly. I want to be able to get a jump on that kind of stuff. If it's a site that I don't think is going to get overloaded by sale shoppers, if it's some obscure vitamin or beauty site that not a ton of people are going to be shopping, that I may just scan the site live during the actual sale. But the other thing is like on Saturday, I want to go swimming with my kid and I want to set off fireworks. So I kind of want some of that work done up front as well. Let's see here. Hey, Chris, let me know if you already addressed this, but do you think the OA challenge is worthwhile if I can't make any of the 4 p.m. sessions live? Yeah, it'll still be worthwhile. Like all the videos are going to be there, and I'm going to be like the group that I'm creating for the OA challenge. It's going to be my home base for 14 days. So like when questions get asked, when people are curious about something, like I'm going to be there, um, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time there, making sure everybody really gets taken care of, because my goal is I've trying to under promise, but I'm really going to try to over deliver, and make sure that everybody is super happy with the content that we've got planned for the OA challenge. When you file your sales tax return, can't you deduct the sales tax you paid for the items against the sales tax you collected when it's sold on Amazon? Um, I don't know the perfect answer to that question. I know that it is part of your cost of goods sold, but I'd rather just not pay the sales tax. And in most states, uh, Amazon handles collecting and remitting the sales tax for you. So I like to be able to allow my items to go to a tax-free state. I will need to check that and this answer to be 100% certain, but that's something a CPA should know as well. Don't want to deal with people. Hey, man, I hear you, money from I hear you, man. Let's see. Daniel, how do we join the OA challenge? The OA challenge, it is, oddly enough, at oachallenge.com, which I am dropping in the chat at the moment. oachallenge.com is where it's at. That is the page that has all the information, some videos from me, etc. And the OA challenge the lives are going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern every single day. But of course, those are going to be recorded. They're going to be saved, and they're going to be available for forever. Doing any giveaways tonight? Um, we could do a give. I don't have anything planned. I didn't. I'll do a giveaway on the next show. I didn't come planning a giveaway. So you guys keep the questions coming. This is great tonight. A lot of times the questions are very slow to trickle in, but please keep them coming. But I promised that we would talk about different sourcing methods. Now, FBA Today is the group where I hang my hat most of the time. Tactical Arbitrage is, of course, the other group where I hang my hat the rest of the time for the most part. I do try to be active in some other groups as well. But we get a lot of new members every single day, every single week, and if people are looking to make side money or maybe even be able to quit their job or everything like that. Kevin, what's going on, man? And so you've got people coming in and they're not 100% sure about things. And so I want to talk about the different business models and what they are so that everybody can kind of know. And for a lot of you, this could be like, oh, I already know this. You don't need to tell me this again. But for some people, like this is foundational stuff that they aren't sure of yet. So I want to talk about the sourcing models. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all of the ones that I'm aware of. Okay. And I'm sure that there are others out there. But number one, there is thrifting. Okay. Thrifting is exactly like it sounds. You're going to thrift stores, maybe estate sales, garage sales, and you are looking for items to flip. What's going on, Marianne? Now, back in the day when I got started, okay, like this was very, very common. Going out and thrifting was like it was a legit sourcing model. Okay, you find a Sony Walkman on a thrift store shelf, and it's all packaged up and sealed and everything, and you're selling it as new. You're good to go. And if someone complains, it was very likely that you could tell Amazon you were sorry and it was okay. Nowadays, thrifting is something I would highly suggest you do not do. Okay, Now, thrifting for books, that's a whole nother ball game. I'm totally fine with thrifting for books. Okay, but buying things like electronics or toys or board games or anything like that and selling them in new condition from a thrift store, you're looking to get yourself in trouble eventually. Okay, you're probably going to get away with it for a while, but eventually something's going to come up where you're asked for a receipt, and when you hand over that little piece of ticker tape that just says green sticker, $4.99, they're not going to do anything for you. You're going to get laughed at. Okay, and I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that to be brutally honest. All right. Now, if you're doing books, that's fine. Books is a whole different ball game. You can source books from thrift stores. You can source books from estate sales and garage sales and out of your house. And as long as you're selling them in the condition that they are, then you should be fine. Okay. Now, there are some times when things like textbooks will be counterfeited and stuff like that, and there are rules that you should know, but that's okay. Yeah, and like Lem says, eBay that stuff, man. Like if you go out to a thrift store and you find a sealed, you know, iPod, the one with the spinny wheel, whatever those were called, you know, or you find a Walkman, like throw that on eBay. You're going to make a few $100. Do it. Just don't sell it on Amazon. You know, I know a lot of people who sell stuff used on Amazon. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it anymore. Like I've done it in the past. I've sold, you know, like used VCRs and things like that in the past, and you're asking for trouble eventually. Okay, sell that stuff on eBay, sell it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not against the thrift store hustle. I just think it needs to be done on another platform. All right, and now thrifting, after thrifting, you've got RA, retail arbitrage. A lot of people will confuse thrifting for retail arbitrage because thrift stores have retail locations, but it's different. With retail arbitrage, you're going into a store and you're buying new products. It can be clearance, it could be Walmart clearance, it can be Target clearance, it could be Tuesday Morning or Ross or anything like that, but you're buying new products that have a supply chain that can be trusted. Okay. And you're, of course, making sure that the products are new, they're in giftable quality. Make sure that you are reading the condition guidelines. Okay. If you buy a set of Legos and one of the corners is dented and you know it's retired, please don't sell it as new. You're gonna piss off a Lego collector. The same goes for like Funko Pops. You know, you get a scratch on one of the windows of a Funko Pop, or one of the corners is dented, or half of the Walmart exclusive sticker is torn off. You're gonna piss off a collector. So make sure that that stuff is in giftable, new condition when you sell it in or when you send it into Amazon. All right. And retail arbitrage, you can buy anything. You can buy electronics, and you can buy groceries and toys and etc. So I should have taken the spot this early. I passed. Sorry, man. I don't. Oh, okay. There we go. And so retail arbitrage is a legit business model. There are people who do millions a year doing retail arbitrage across all kinds of niches. There are people I know who are doing shoes and clothing, and they do millions a year. The Coughlins are a great example. They have a killer operation, and they just crush it with shoes and clothing. You know, and they've got a team. And there are people who do grocery for the most part, and there are people who just sell toys at Toyberg. Toyberg actually does a lot of retail arbitrage, and there are a lot of other businesses that just do retail arbitrage, and they make a good business out of it. After retail arbitrage, we've got on rip off the sticker if you buy at the rip off the sticker if you buy at the store. So it depends on what you mean by ripping off the sticker if you buy at the store. If you are at Ollie's, okay, Ollie's is kind of a liquidation store. that's in a lot of states, mostly East Coast, I believe. But all of their items have orange price stickers on them. Those need to come off. Price stickers need to come off. Okay. But if it's got a collectible sticker like a Walmart exclusive, a Target exclusive, a Walgreens exclusive, etc., okay, those exclusive stickers, because it might be a collectible item, those need to stay on the packaging. All right, don't ever take those off. At Target, they'll have toys now and in Q4 that will be Target exclusives. Like Disney and them often come out with something that's Target exclusive, and same with Marvel and all the other toy brands. And the same goes for Walmart. Okay, those kind of stickers need to stay on. Ollie stickers, Ross stickers, TJ Maxx stickers, anything that shows a price needs to come off, because if you want to piss off a customer, I did this with a pair of shoes one time. I bought a pair of shoes at like a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls or whatever. Bought a pair of shoes for like $7.99 on clearance. Really nice pair of Nikes. Forgot to take the tag off from TJ Maxx or Marshalls or whatever it was. And of course, the customer's like, "You paid $7.99 for these, and I just paid you $72. What's your problem?" So of course, I gave them their money back. Okay, so you want to make sure to do that or take those off. But those exclusive stickers, leave them on. Okay. Let's see here. Hey Raymond, what's going on, man? Yeah, Brian, dude, I love some Ollies. I love clearing shelves at Ollie's. It's good stuff. I don't do a lot of RA, but when we do it, Ollie's is great. Okay, so after retail arbitrage, we've got online arbitrage. Now, online arbitrage is very, very similar to retail arbitrage. You just do it behind a desk, and you're looking at the same places: the Kohl's, the Walmarts, the Targets, and thousands of these other stores that are out there on the internet, and you're comparing it to Amazon. Smart people are using tactical arbitrage to be able to automate some of this. Okay. Uh, and you're finding items that you can flip for a profit, and you're just buying them from digital shelves rather than going out and picking them up from physical shelves. Okay. And that is what online arbitrage is: the art and science of flipping items from other stores and taking them to a bigger marketplace. Okay. After online arbitrage, we've got wholesale. Now, this is where some people get confused. Some people will think they're buying wholesale from like AliExpress or Alibaba. That is not wholesale. Wholesale is buying from a brand. Okay. Now, let's say I have a Dasani, which is actually Coke. Say I have a contract with Coke to be able to sell Dasani water. I am buying wholesale directly from the brand or a distributor of the brand. There may be a middleman, and I am then buying in quantity, and I'm sending it to Amazon. That is what wholesale is. Okay. And if you're going to focus on wholesale, don't go after the Cokes and the Hasbros of the world. Okay. Because everybody and their sister is trying to do that, but go after some of those small to medium sized brands, especially brands that are in niches. Okay. And you can think camping and underwater basket weaving and highlight and handball. You think of these niches, especially in passions like hobbies where people spend money. The golf niche comes to mind. There are a lot of small and medium-sized brands in the golf niche that do very, very well, and you might be able to get a wholesale account with places like that. And so that is wholesale. Okay, you're either dealing with a small brand or maybe a brand's distributor. Brian brings up a good one: Entertainment Earth, okay, or EE Distribution. They're a toy distribution company. They give anybody who's got a pulse an account. Okay, that is technically wholesale. Not a lot of it's profitable, but it's great for ungating. Okay. After wholesale, we've got white label. All right. Now, this is what a lot of people who think they're into private labeling are doing. Okay. They're white labeling. They are buying a product off AliExpress or Alibaba, and it matches something that's already selling, and they're just throwing it up on Amazon, and that's it. Okay. And I would consider that white labeling. All right. You're just taking a product that exists, you're throwing your name on it, whether or not you actually put a sticker on it or put it in a box or anything like that, and you're throwing it out there trying to get some sales. Okay. Yeah, Empire Toys is another great example. They give just about anybody an account as well. Now, with white labeling, you're not going to be able to make a difference that much. You're not going to be able to differentiate your brand. You're not growing a brand. Okay. You're just throwing it out there. Now, I'm not going to say it's necessarily a bad thing. Okay, one of the very first products that I ever bought from overseas, I ended up I thought I was private labeling. I white labeled it. Okay, I threw my name on it, and I sold something that I wasn't supposed to sell on Amazon, that I didn't know that I couldn't sell on Amazon, called a monkey fist, which is a self-defense weapon. It's a steel ball wrapped in a lanyard. It's usually like 8 to 10 inches long, and it goes on your keychain. It really hurt when you get hit with them. I let my wife smack me with it just a little to see what it felt like, and it was not pleasant. Okay, um, but that's what I did. I white labeled a product. Now, after white labeling, there's private labeling. Okay, and there are several ways to do this. Let's say, for example, that you want to private label a supplement. Well, you might work with a co-packer that is here in the States, who will actually pack up a supplement formula for you, put it in capsules, put it in a bottle, and make it look nice and pretty, like this one a day for men. Okay. Now they're a big brand, but you can create a brand very, very much like that by using a co-packer and private labeling something like your own supplement. There's something very similar you can do with grocery items. Okay. It's Poop Like a Champion is what it's called. Excuse the terse language. But there's a product on Amazon, or was on Amazon. It's called Poop Like a Champion, and it's a fiber cereal. Okay, I can guarantee you that was made by someone who was using a co-packer, and maybe they used their recipe or something like that, and they put together this cereal for them, and they created their own private label brand. Now, and then there is private labeling, as a lot of people think about it. They're buying from a factory in China or India or Vietnam, or all these other places where the dollar goes a little bit further, maybe South America, Mexico, places like that. And you're actually taking a product that may already be created. You're making some changes to it. You're trying to differentiate it. You're putting a nice box around it. You're creating some, you're making it look like an actual product. Okay. And you're creating a brand for yourself. All right. That's really what private labeling is. All right. You're creating a listing. You're getting a trademark. You are having A+ content, and you're brand registered, and all of those things. Okay. That's what private labeling is. And I think I've just about hit all of, the final one, which I should have talked about earlier, is liquidation. Okay. Liquidation is something where you're actually buying from places like liquidation.com and these other places that get semi trucks full of used or shelf pulls, and then sell them off to people. Okay. Now, there's a place for liquidation. Matter of fact, I virtually met someone last night who absolutely crushes it with liquidation. He's not selling on Amazon. Okay. He does not sell those products on Amazon. Sells those on another channel. Okay. Those are great for eBay. I actually like his model. I'm not going to tell you what his model is because I don't know how competitive of a space it is. But it was a genius idea. All right. And he crushes it. And he's got a team that does it for him. But with liquidation sourcing, you're buying items that could be of unknown origin, all right, or you're getting a manifest in a sheet from liquidation.com, and they're like, oh yeah, these are all from Meijer, or these are all from Target or Sears or whatever. But the thing is nobody really knows. Okay, you're buying a bunch of Gaylords of product that might be damaged. You don't know where it comes from, and that manifest from liquidation or bulk or 888 lots or any of those other places that are out there just don't work for chain of custody. Okay, there was actually there was an article last year, I want to say about last year this time, of a pretty big liquidation seller getting suspended and having a really, really difficult time getting their account back. And it wasn't until it was in the news that they ended up getting their account back on Amazon. Okay, so those are the different types of sourcing models that are out there. And so whatever you're interested in, you should really learn about and then give it a shot. Okay. And if you're new to Amazon, if you're here, you're watching, you're new, one of the easiest ways to get started is to sell some books. Selling books from thrift stores, sourcing on Craigslist and library sales and all that kind of stuff. You can get a lot of inventory for really, really inexpensive, and you can learn the process of sending items into Amazon. Okay. The next best way is probably retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. Retail arbitrage kind of sucks right now. Everybody's worried about coronavirus, or you got to wear a mask out there or whatever, and so retail arbitrage might suck for you. But online arbitrage is going to be there, forever. And I don't have to deal with anybody but my UPS guy or my prep center if I use a prep center. Okay. And then, things like wholesale and private label, they require a little bit more money, not necessarily as much as you think, but it's helpful to have a little bit more bankroll to be able to get started with those kind of things. And then liquidation, I would honestly just stay away from. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that will help out some people who are newer to the game of selling on Amazon and figuring out kind of where they want to go and what they want to do. I don't have all the answers on exactly the best methods of doing all those types of sourcing, but I can at least help you become a little dangerous behind a keyboard while you're trying to do all of those. So, any other questions this evening? Any other question? Got quiet all of a sudden, but gonna have a few more minutes for questions, and then we've just about tipped over the hour mark, so we'll be calling an evening soon. Listen, if you are here, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on the Facebook, please do me a huge favor, smash the like button. It is huge for the respective algorithms. It'll get this video out to people who need to see it, want to see it, and people that it may help. And of course, it makes me feel happy inside. So I would appreciate it. Now, the other thing I'm going to do before we go is I am going to make a very, very shameless plug. But if you are interested in online arbitrage, the OA Challenge starts on Monday, July 6th, right after the holiday. We're going to dive in, get our hands dirty, and learn the art and science of online arbitrage, Keepa, tactical arbitrage, manual sourcing, and all the other things that I have been able to learn from other people who are a heck of a lot smarter than me, and also figure out on my own. I'm going to be sharing with you all in the OA Challenge. So if you are even slightly interested, have the time and have the money, I'm going to try to blow your minds. Go to oachallenge.com, sign up because we do start on Monday. We do start Monday, July the 6th, and I think we're going to have a really, really good time. Would love to know about ungating. So that is a nuanced question. It depends on what type of ungating. You need. Okay, if you're looking for grocery ungating, it's fairly straightforward. You need to get a grocery item from a wholesaler, and I'll be honest with you, place like Dollar Days or AB Delivers. I think they're still around. AB Delivers. There's a bunch of places out there that still work. I see Funnel Guru being mentioned. I'm going to be completely honest. I probably wouldn't use Funnel Guru because uh, I don't know where they're getting their invoices from. I just I'd love to like chat with them and figure out what they're doing, etc. But if they're not giving you legit invoices, you're going to have a bad time eventually. No, I know it's worked for people. I'm not saying it has not worked, right? And I'm not judging. I don't care if you've tried it and you're good. That's fine. I'm all about a shortcut as long as it's legit. I just don't know how they're doing it. So like I would really, really want to talk to them about it, which I would be happy to chat with them about it. And if they'd give me that information and if it was legit, I would say okay. But I cannot vouch for any ungating service just because I don't know where they're getting their invoices. However, it's not difficult. So Brian, like if you let me know, hey, I want to get ungated in toys, EE distribution, get yourself an account. It's very, very simple. Grocery, get yourself a Dollar Days account. Like there are grocery items there you can get ungated with. You can get ungated with AB Delivers. You probably have a local convenience store wholesaler in your town or close to you that will help you with grocery invoices. All kinds of stuff. Let's see here. Gina, yes, I owe you a big apology, Gina. I know that I owe you a video, and I have it coming up in my email every single week to do it. And so I'm sorry. I will get that done. I would like to try tactical arbitrage. Are there any coupons? So I do not have any coupons for a discount currently, but I do have a coupon code for an extended trial of 10 days. Now, if you join the OA Challenge, you're actually going to get a 14-day trial. But if you are not going to join the OA Challenge, you just want to give it a shot, you can use code Clear the Shelf, all one word, Clear the Shelf, and it will get you a 10-day trial, which is 3 days extra over the regular 7-day trial. Is the OA Challenge useful to someone that is pretty familiar with doing OA? So I'm going to be honest, and I think that it probably will be. The reason I say that is just the things that I'm going to show you with Keepa, I believe will be the nugget that just about anyone can take away and do some real damage with. You may very well know tactical arbitrage and all these other things, as well or better than me. But I'm pretty sure I've got some aces up the sleeve about Keepa that I'm going to be able to share that should blow some minds. I hope. I'm really that's kind of where I'm going. But I think that I think it would help anybody. The OA Challenge. How many days is the OA Challenge? It is 14 straight days of online arbitrage. There are going to be a couple of catch-up days where I'll probably end up going live anyway to answer questions and allow people to kind of chat and things like that. But it's 14 days. Do all the SalesGazer lists only show U.S. sites? No, SalesGazer shows sites outside of the U.S. All the countries that are inside tactical arbitrage, SalesGazer also supports. Best 97, you spend your money, Robert. I appreciate that, man. I absolutely do. Let's see here. The OA Challenge every day at 4 p.m. Yes. The OA Challenge is going to be live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's in its own private Facebook group. We're not sharing this with the entire world, only those who sign up. But yes, OA Challenge will be every day, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see here. If Amazon asks for an invoice, will your account get suspended if all you have is a store receipt from Kohl's, Dollar Store, Walmart to show your purchase? I'm glad you asked this question, Oatmeal961. this is a myth that is all over the place that I would hope dies. Okay, when you get a request like that from Amazon, and a matter of fact, someone actually shared a screenshot the other day and proved my point for me. They specifically ask for an invoice or a receipt in most cases. Okay, receipts will be fine for suspensions for authenticity purposes 99.9% of the time. Okay, it authenticity and suspensions have been handled with receipts from the dollar store, from Kohl's, from Walmart, over and over and over and over again for years, and they have been just fine. Heck, I have been I have gotten ASINs unsuspended with receipts from Ross and TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Okay, as long as it's done properly, then receipts work just fine. Let's see here. Is OA Challenge beneficial for someone who has Tactical Academy but is a tad disorganized? Yes. So the OA Challenge is not only tactical arbitrage based. Okay. We are going to have 2 days of tactical arbitrage because tactical arbitrage is huge. It's important if you're going to automate anything sourcing wise. Like tactical arbitrage is the place to go. But we're going to be talking about other things as well. Okay, we're going to be really deep diving into Keepa, the anatomy of a deal, how to manufacture ROI. We're going to be talking about manual sourcing, tactical arbitrage, and all kinds of things over 14 days to make you a well-rounded online arbitrageur. Okay, but we will also be deep diving into the online arbitrage portions of tactical arbitrage for 2 days as well. Take a picture of the product with the receipt. That can be very, very helpful. Yes. So if we're going back to suspensions now, if there is a suspension on a product and your receipt from Walmart, Target, etc., has a UPC code on it, I'm not really worried about the product being pictured next to the receipt. However, if you are buying Under Armour polo shirts or Nike socks or Calvin Klein underwear or whatever from TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, etc., and they've got that store code, that store identifier next to the price underneath the title of the product, then yes, you're going to want to take a picture of the receipt next to the item. You're going to want to have the UPC tag, for the Under Armour, polo next to the TJ Maxx or Marshalls tag that matches that item number. Okay, and that's how you beat those. All right. In extreme cases, when people have not done that, I've actually had people go to, sorry, it wasn't me, it was actually a friend of mine, but they had their client go to TJ Maxx, get a picture with their receipt next to one of the scan guns showing the UPC of the item next to the item number and then it worked. Okay, but wouldn't want anybody to do that. Which level of tactical arbitrage do you recommend for a newbie? So my guess is that as a newer seller, you're probably just going to be doing arbitrage. I would suggest the arbitrage package. It'll have product search. It'll have reverse search. No reason to deal with library right now, although library is an underutilized portion of tactical arbitrage, but no need to worry about that. Figure out a small portion of it, save as much money as you can for product, and just get the arbitrage portion. Get product search, reverse search, learn those, and then move on. Okay. With the lectures, yes, yeah. OA Challenge is going to be available on demand at any time. If you can't make the 4 o'clock lives, they're going to be in units, so you know exactly what you've watched, what you have not watched. It's going to be in a private Facebook group. and everything's going to be available forever. Let's see here. Is the OA challenge good for sellers in Canada? So not only is arbitrage one of the oldest businesses in the world, and I'm talking the East India Company, okay, back in the 1400s was doing arbitrage. Okay, it was more geographic arbitrage than it was marketplace arbitrage that we're doing. But the mechanics of arbitrage are good in any market. Okay, I mean, if we break it down to its simplest form, it's buying low and selling high. Okay, but online arbitrage, the mechanics will work in Canada, India, Japan, Australia, the U.S., Mexico, and all over the world. All right, because the mechanics are fairly the same. It'll just be the stores and the marketplaces that are different. So yes, I do think, just like my Tactical Arbitrage Academy works for sellers in Canada, the OA Challenge will be good for anybody in any market: Canada, US, UK, etc. Gina, absolutely, I appreciate it. So I think we're just about time to wrap this up, guys. I need to put a kid to bed and spend a little bit of time with the family. So again, check out oachallenge.com. Do me a huge solid, smash the like button, and we will be here again next Thursday, 8 p.m. Is OA Challenge? Sorry, is OA Challenge helpful for a beginner? Yes. This is a soup to nuts program. Okay, and of course, if Nate were here, he'd laugh at me for using that saying. But we are going to be starting with some very beginner-friendly things, and then we're going to be building on that foundation over the 14 days, where even people who have been at it for a while are going to be able to get some things out of this. Okay, so I wanted to be able to run the entire spectrum of seller with the OA challenge and make sure everybody was included. So it will definitely be helpful for a newer seller. Okay, guys. So have a great night. Please do me a solid. Smash the like button, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Share this with your friends. And I will see you guys next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Same place, same channel. We'll do this all over again. Really appreciate you guys spending some time with me this evening. Have a great night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And as always, good selling, everybody.